Associate Administrator Mission Director for close to 5 months, and I've just been in awe, and I'm in awe today about both the depth and the breadth of the science that we do here. We're changing people's lives every day, and we enlarge in the space we know. We stretch our imagination, we inspire every day. And today's story is just that. I'm excited to announce today that Dr. Michael Gion and his team have used our Spitzer Space Telescope to determine that there are actually 7 Earth-sized planets orbiting the nearby TRAPPIST-1 star about 40 light years away. What's more, as you can see in this illustration, is that 3 of these planets, marked in green, are in the habitable zone, where liquid water can pool on the surface. In fact, with the right atmospheric conditions, there could be water on any of these planets. So for the first time, we found as many terrestrial planets around a single star, and that's the first time we have been able to measure, in addition to that, both the masses and the radii of these habitable zone type Earth-sized planets. These planets are among the best of all the planets we know to follow up, to see, for example, with the James Webb Space Telescope that we're going to launch last year, the atmospheres, and also to look at biosignatures if there are any. The discovery gives us a hint that finding a second Earth is not just a matter of if, but when. Scientists believe, actually, that around every star there could be 1 planet. Take 3, take 5, take 7. And you can just imagine how many worlds are out there that have a shot to becoming a habitable ecosystem that we could explore. And what we really have in this story is a major step forward towards answering one of these very questions that are at the heart of so many of our philosophers, of what we're thinking about when we're by ourselves. And that basically is, are we alone out there? We're making a step forward with this, a leap forward, in fact, towards answering that question. And I'm really excited for you to hear about it now.
Thanks, Thomas. So, Michael, can you tell us more about this finding?
Sure. As Thomas mentioned, we used a Spitzer Space Telescope with over ground-based telescope to discover around the same star, not 1, not 2, but 7 Earth-sized planets. And this is the first time that so many Earth-sized planets are found around the same star. Furthermore, with 3 of them in the habitable zone. And the star itself is what is called an ultra-cool dwarf, which is the least massive kind of stars that exist. And these stars are much smaller, much cooler than our Sun. And still, they are very frequent at the scale of our galaxy, more frequent than solar-type stars. And if you look at this illustration, you see the comparison between a basketball and a golf ball. Well, in our case, the basketball would be the Sun, and the golf ball, it would be TRAPPIST-1. So TRAPPIST-1 is much cooler, much smaller than our Sun, and so the planets in its habitable zone are much closer to it, very close to it, with very short orbital periods. And in this graphics, what you can see are the planets which were found around TRAPPIST-1, with the 3 of them which are in the habitable zone, so also called the Goldilocks zones, where liquid water could exist, is the most likely to exist at the surface of a rocky planet. Having 3 of these Earth-sized planets in this habitable zone is very promising for the search for life beyond our solar system.
So what can you tell us about these distant planets?
Well, we have measured with Spitzer very, very precisely their sizes. And furthermore, we have, thanks to Spitzer too, preliminary measurements of their masses for 6 of them. And for 1 of them, our measurement is precise enough to strongly suggest a water-rich composition, which is very exciting because this is one of the planets in the habitable zone. Furthermore, these planets are orbiting so close to the star that they must be, or they are probably, tidally locked, which means they always face the star with the same side, like the Moon, to the Earth. And so if you look at this animation, you can see a view of tidally locked planet with a permanent day side and a permanent night side. The TRAPPIST-1 planet could be just like this. Now what is also exciting here about this system is that the planets are so close to each other. If you were on the surface of one of these planets, you would have wonderful view on the other planets. You wouldn't see them like we see Venus or Mars, like dots of light. But as you can see in the next illustration, you would see them really as we see the moon. You would see worlds with, which are very big. You could see the structures on these worlds. They would be as large as the moon and even larger for some of them. So it would be a wonderful view on this planet.